Hi, my name's Andrew Jenkins. In January, I was a finalist in Series 2 of The Traitors. Since The Traitors, my life has been crazy, but that wasn't the first time my life has been totally or completely rewritten. On August 28, 1999, I was involved in a very serious road traffic accident. I wouldn't wish that experience on anyone, but I want to be part of this amazing Headway campaign to show people out there who've had a brain injury or head injury that you can do great things and you can achieve great things in life.
Hello, my name is Alison Goodrum, and my life was rewritten in December 2018.
Hi, Alison.
Hello, Andrew.
Thank you for coming here today, and thank you for being part of Headway's fantastic campaign. So tell me a little bit about the person I got sat opposite me. What makes you the person you are today?
Oh, well, I'm a very proud Lincolnshire yellow belly of sort of 7th, 8th generation. Went through school, university, and then did a lot of travelling.
And then, obviously, 2018, your life was rewritten for you, I suppose. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Well, I was diagnosed with a brain tumour.
Right.
But actually, my life had begun to be rewritten quite a long time before that.
Okay.
Because it was sort of a slow, steady decline.
Right.
So unlike a lot of brain tumours, mine was not a sudden crisis in that I had an attack or an episode. It's low grade, so I just didn't feel myself and slowly, kind of gradually declined. So
what symptoms were you getting? What sort of symptoms were you...
Well, I'd always been headachy all my life.
Right.
I had bad head pain, put it down to migraines.
Right.
Didn't really seek even that much medical help for it, just knew that every now and again I would suffer.
Right.
They got worse and worse and worse, and there was sort of a moment where I was sitting on the edge of the bed with a really splitting headache and just thought, I don't think people... This is not in the normal, on the normal scale of headaches. But I didn't seek help. I just put it down to the fact that I was working too hard. I thought I was having a midlife crisis. I just didn't know what was wrong with me.
How long did this go on for before you actually decided to seek professional help? And what was it that made you decide to go and get help?
I went to the opticians on my birthday to get a new pair of glasses, which I thought would be a fun thing to do. Yeah. And I sort of explained all of this, and the optician said, you know what, I think maybe we should just send you to the hospital, like, now. Sat in a waiting room for a long... I mean, you probably know about waiting rooms yourself. There's a lot of hanging about when you have brain injury.
Yeah, yeah. You didn't even get a new pair of glasses for your birthday?
No!
Disappointed as that? So how long was it from, obviously, having the scan or being in the hospital initially to when you actually got diagnosed or the prognosis?
Oh, it was 3 or 4 months.
Oh, wow.
This was all my eyes to begin with.
Right.
So I was in the eye department, and they were about to sign me off because they said, well, there's nothing wrong with you. Yeah. And I pleaded and said, please don't send me home. I can't live with this level of pain. I mean, of course, it doesn't dawn on you that it's a brain tumour. I thought I was having a breakdown.
Yeah.
I thought it was a stress-related breakdown, which is why when I actually got the diagnosis, I think I probably went into some kind of denial. In that when you get the diagnosis, you go into a room, you're talking to someone who you've never met before, and you just think, well, clearly this man doesn't know what he's talking about. He's trying to tell me that I have something really wrong with me. And I just thought, well, at some point someone's going to say, well, we've got this wrong or something. It's a big bombshell to drop on a family. It's not just your diagnosis, it's your family, your friend's diagnosis, your loved one's diagnosis. I didn't tell anyone really for about a week or two. When do you tell someone that?
Never a good time, I suppose.
There's never a good time.
Yeah.
I went home for Christmas and I had to choose my moment.
Who was there when you told you, your mum and dad?
It was my mum and dad only.
Right, OK. So after, obviously, you went back for the results, did they have a plan in place of what to do next? Could they operate, or was it going to be chemotherapy, radiotherapy? What was the next stages?
My tumour was non-cancerous.
Right, OK.
There was really only one option, which was surgery. So I didn't have to make many hard decisions about the different types of options open to me. And I think that was helpful because really the doctors were saying, well, we've got to do this.
Which part of the brain was the tumour on? Is it any particular part of the brain where it was?
It was the 8th cranial nerve. Do you know it?
No, not very well, no.
I didn't even know there was such a thing.
Right.
Which is deep inside sort of the ear, the inner ear. So it's on the 8th cranial nerve is the one that affects balance and hearing.
So how long then were you taken to the hospital for the operation? Was it much longer after that then, or was it the same day or next day?
I had a 4.5-month wait.
Wow.
From diagnosis to surgery.
What does that feel like?
Well, I can't remember too much about it because, Andrew, I slept for 4.5 months. I was sleeping for 22 hours a day, getting up, just maybe making a slice of toast, going back to bed, you know. I really, that diagnosis, when I say it was relief, I had been fighting for so long and just trying to keep, you know, mind and spirit together and body together as well. Going to work, trying to push on. And then you think, OK, thank goodness I can just collapse in a heap and just, you know,
Tell me a little bit more about Headway, how they helped you.
Well, I stumbled across them from an online search as I was doing my research and saw they had a helpline.
Right.
And almost immediately phoned them up because I just wanted to speak to people and you know, just find out through whatever way I could. I remember phoning the helpline thinking, oh, they're going to say that, you know, you don't, because they were the brain injury charity, and I just wasn't quite sure if I even had a brain injury. And the person on the end of the helpline was so lovely. And with that, the floodgates opened and I sobbed down that phone. To this poor person. I don't know who that person was. And it was one of the few times that I really, everything came out. And
you bottled it up for so long, for months, bottled this thing up. So there's like a release to
and it was also someone saying, you've come to the right place as well. They were just so helpful and, you know, welcoming and saying it's OK. Yeah, we've got these things that you can do to help you. Like there were information sheets, which were really helpful. And the brain injury identity card was something I hadn't heard of, but immediately signed up to because, you know, it's a card. It's a thing you can hold in your hand and say, you know, this is what I, you know, this is what I have. It's really useful. It's really reassuring. I still carry it. I've got it in my bag today.
Oh, right, OK.
Just in case of issues or problems. So it's really reassuring to have that and to carry that.
What sort of things? What sort of things did you have to do after the operation? What sort of things, issues, and things?
I had to learn to walk again.
Really?
Yeah.
Or join the club. Something else we got in common.
Yes. Well, it's a club that no one wants to be a member of.
No, really, not the best club, no.
But it's... And when I say I had to learn to walk again, that sounds really dramatic, but that is the reality of it. My balance, because my symptoms actually hadn't been really, really bad before the operation, so my brain hadn't retuned itself.
Oh, right, OK.
So my balance just went entirely. I couldn't walk. I couldn't... And I hadn't expected that. And that was, I remember sitting in bed sort of one morning thinking, I do hope this walking comes back.
Quite frightening. I had the same experience. I was told I'd never walk ever again. The doctors told me after my coma, you're never going to walk ever again. So to be in sporty all my life from 5 to 21 to be told you're not going to walk ever again is quite it's quite a scary thing to be told, actually, and then wondering if it does come back. And I'm lucky I'm a determined guy, and I learned to walk in about 2 weeks ago.
You have to be determined, don't you? And
self-belief it is, and I'm a good support network around me helped massively as well. So
yeah, and I took my rehab really seriously because I, like you, I think, was just like, I'm not going to be in a situation where, you know, if the walking can come back, then I will try and do everything I can to make it come back. One of the things I could control was who knew about all of this. And it became it became this sort of a psychologist would have a field day. I'm sure something was going on, but I got very upset when I heard people say, oh, I heard that something had happened to you. And I thought, well, what did you hear? How could you possibly know? Because I just wanted control over, it was so private and personal. I wanted control over who knew, who told my story. I wanted to tell my story. And I didn't want it being, you know, run away with. And that even now is something that I get a bit anxious about.
How come you ended up making hats? Where did that come from?
I think hats found me rather than the other way round. And just slowly began building up some of my knowledge. But I mean, it was never intended to be this big. I remember after I guess sort of came home and sort of thought, oh, I've made a hat. Well, that's very nice. It's not as if I'm going to make another hat, though, ever, is it?
Yeah.
But it turns out how wrong I was. I'd had a lot taken away from me, and I felt this was something that I was actively making rather than having taken away.
Yeah. We should be super proud. You're doing amazing. You look amazing. You're doing amazing work. You should be really proud of yourself.
Thanks very much.
I understand you've also done some work to support Headway. Tell me a little bit about that.
That's right. Yes, quite recently.
All right.
My local branch is Norfolk and Waveney.
Okay.
And I think they do annually. They put on an art exhibition, and I sort of saw an opportunity and approached them and said, well, you know, millinery is an art form. Would you like me to make a hat for you to go in the exhibition? But it's also a silent auction, so it's a fundraising event. And I just thought, OK, what kind of a hat should I make? Because they sort of said, yes, any hat would be great. So I made a really big hat because I just thought it has to fill this space. So I used, it was Headway blue. It was a really big boater. And so that went off and it was displayed in the forum. And I believe it's a silent auction, so I'm not sure who bid, but someone is now the owner of that hat. So you make
putting a smile on somebody else's face again.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Oh, well done. Alison, it's been an absolutely amazing meeting. You're an absolutely amazing, inspirational lady, and I hope your story has given hope to inspire thousands of people out there who are going to watch this video. I say it's been a pleasure to meet you. Thank you very much.
Oh, nice to meet you too.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Thank you.